What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, MLB DFS video. It is Friday. It is March 29th. We are back with another video. Big, huge shout out to literally everyone here who is new to the channel as of yesterday. We had yesterday's video did massive numbers, a lot of new subscribers, so welcome. Hopefully you enjoyed what you saw. Hopefully, if you're new today, you enjoy what you see in this. So we try to have a giveaway every single day. 2 giveaways, actually, for MLB. And if we do a video for NBA, you have a chance to win 4 times in one day. How to do that? For the baseball videos, like the videos, be a subscriber, bell notification does help, and leave a comment. Any comment at all will have a chance to be picked up by the comment picker. If we get at least 50 likes on a video, someone will win a free week of DFS content brought to you by FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. 100 likes, someone will win a free month. 125 likes, someone will win a free year. And if we ever get 150 or more likes on a video, you leave a comment and you are a subscriber, you have a chance to win a lifetime pass worth $500. And guess what? We hit the 150 likes in yesterday's video. So one of you is going to win a lifetime pass right now. So what we're going to do is I have the random comment picker and I ran the video. There are 58 different comments that aren't duplicated and are not mine. So when I start this, if it runs and it is me, I will rerun it again. If you already have a lifetime pass on the website, let me know and we'll rerun it in tomorrow's video. So I just want to, you have a chance to win. The second way to do it, like the video, be a YouTube subscriber, and tell me who you think is going to hit a home run and what inning they're going to hit it in, along with the distance traveled. The distance traveled is a tiebreaker. What we're going to do is there can be multiple winners for this. If you get it correct, the correct player and inning, you will win a free week of DFS content. If you get the player, inning, and distance traveled, you will win a free month. So what we'll do is every day, the following day, I will pin any winners in the comments down here because there could be multiple winners. So going through this, I don't want to do that in video. So we are going to see who the winner of the lifetime pass is. And again, you can win again every single day. If you're not a lifetime winner, you can come back and you can continue to win. So good luck to everybody. Before we get started, let's check it out. So here we go. The winner of the lifetime pass is Michael Barnes 6589. Don't know much about baseball, but I like bacon. Congratulations, Mike. I know you've been around the channel. I think you were new for NBA, but you were here. And guess what, Michael? You are a lifetime subscriber to FTA+. So congratulations, Michael. Come back every single day. Michael can't win a lifetime subscription, but you guys can if we get 150 likes on this video. Let's get started. So unlike other channels that do DFS, that do all the other things, you'll see those videos. Yes, this is a little bit longer than those. Those videos are shorter, but we look at it. They give you a couple of plays. That's it. They don't care. They sell you lineups. That's it. We are going to break down every single game, every single pitcher, and every single bat in those games that make sense. Some people will come along and say, oh, you like every single batter. We will look. We will take a look at the batters. We will take a look at everything. If this video is all you need and you need nothing else out of it and you are good for the day, that's awesome. But there are some people that need a little bit more. So in the description of this video is the article that accompanies this video. It is the Discord link where we go back and forth. We give you value plays there. We give you core plays there. We give you bets that we like. We break down the ballparks as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the pitchers, we're going to do the batters, and then I'm going to kind of show you what we have on the website. Because if you're new, maybe you've been thinking about FTA+, maybe you haven't, you can check out FTA+ right here. Normally, it's $24.99 a month, which includes DFS and sports betting with all sports that we offer. If you do the yearly pass and use the promo code MLBVIP through this weekend, that is it. Instead of a $199 yearly pass, you can get a using MLB VIP, you can get a yearly pass for $75 instead of $199. So let's take a look at the games we've got going on. So looking at these two, we've got currently the main slate consists of Toronto and Tampa Bay and down. The two early games are Freddie Peralta versus Quintana. We've got the Brewers and the Mets that were postponed from Thursday. So they're not on the main slate. I'm going to cover them real quick, but I'd rather do the main slate so we can just look at it. And I already kind of covered it in yesterday's video, and then I had to delete yesterday's video. So I did like 30 minutes breaking down the early slate, and then it was canceled. All but one game was canceled in between that. So let me get something, and then we'll get started. So just taking a look, this helps with DFS. It might help with season long of starting, sitting. It's the second day, so hopefully not. But it also could help sports betting. We gave away some bets yesterday and some plays that we like and home runs that I liked. And I loved Mookie Betts, and I think he homered in his second at bat of the game. Mookie's on fire. So hopefully this helps. So we've got the Brewers at the Mets currently. Without looking at weather, we're going to go over these things. Obviously, weather and stuff changes. That's why we have everything we have on the site, which we will cover. Just kind of show you. If you hover over it, we've got player projections, we've got simulations, we've got Vegas odds, we've got batter splits, BVP, stolen bases, our cheat sheet. We've got it all over there. So if you want to take a look, go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. But looking at this, Peralta versus the Mets, Citi Field is a massive ballpark. Peralta is a stud. He is now their ace pitcher there with Corbin Burns being gone. Hasn't faced the Mets a ton. 59 plate appearances, 32.2 K percentage, 154 batting average, 10.2 walk percentage. I love what he brings to the table. The Mets really don't scare me as a team, hitting or pitching wise right now. They just don't. So flip side of that, we look at Quintana, 70 plate appearances, 21.4 K percentage, 11.4 walk percentage, 290 batting average. I would be looking at some Brewers bats, and that's what I want to do. I want to take a look at the Brewers bats that make sense for what we want to look at. If you're playing early, if you're playing DFS, if you're sports betting, we can take a look. So I know it's a lefty on lefty matchup, but when you're targeting batters, you want to look at the ones that are bright red, or dark red. So the darker the red, the better the chances most likely that they have for you to be good. Lefty and lefty, not the biggest, not the best matchup, but he's still a bat that I would look at. William Contreras is one of the best young catchers right now. Lefty on righty matchup here. I absolutely love William Contreras. Rhys Hoskins, I love. Gary Sanchez, I don't know if he's going to be starting the game, but he is a prolific lefty killer. So if you look at his numbers, Gary Sanchez against a lefty, I will take exposure to, especially on if there is an early slate, a 2-game slate that you need a little bit to differentiate yourself from the pack. I would look at some Gary Sanchez here. I'm probably off Bowers. Monasterio, I don't mind. I think he'll go under-owned if he starts. It will really come down to who starts in this lineup. So that's why we got to wait for people to start. A couple others that I would look at, Willy Adames. I love Willy Adames. He brought home the bacon for us last year quite a bit. I would look a little bit of Sal Frelick and a little bit of Bryce Terang if I'm looking at these bats here. Flip side of that, I love Freddie Peralta. If you're twisting my arm and you say, what Mets would you take? I would look at Lindor, maybe a little bit of Alvarez. I mean, Jeff McNeil, but that's it. I really love Freddie Peralta. I think he's a stud. I think he does good things today. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I don't trust them enough. I'm looking at Freddie Peralta for sure. So we got next game, Braves at the Phillies, Spencer Strider versus Zach Wheeler. Love Spencer Strider. Obviously, they faced each other a ton being in the same division. 210 plate appearances, 36.7 K percentage, only a 6.2 walk rate. He needs, I believe, 17 total strikeouts to hit 500 career strikeouts. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets double digits here. I know Philly's a great team. I know Schwarber, Harbor. We know these guys. I still absolutely love Spencer Strider here. I would be looking at him. I'd also be looking at the bats. So a lot of people like BVP. Some people don't. We'll have it on the website for you. I don't want to bore you with BVP. I don't want to bore you with a ton of things. But after everything is said and done, if you take a look at what we have, if you go here, a lot of free tools, a lot of FTA Plus tools. If you go down to the MLB tab here and you go to the batter splits. So I'll just click on it real quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But depending on if you've got a righty pitcher or lefty pitcher, whatever you have, you can come into here and you can see what players have had success against right-handed pitching in this. So Acuna against right-handed pitching, it just jumps up. Acuna and Austin Riley. Acuna has really good right-handed pitching or right-handed bats. 343 batting average against right-handed pitchers. Should get a minimum of 4 at-bats in this game. 419 OBP, 1,000 OPS. I mean, he's obviously in a good start. He has some exposure to facing Wheeler as well. So this is what I'll tell you. You can come through here. You can come here and you can click the little box down here. It'll pop up this. Shouldn't be able to edit it. This will all be updated. But this is normally updated every day. But what we're going to do is we're going to wait probably a couple of weeks to put everything in here for 2024. So we're going to go off 2023 stats obviously right now, but just kind of looking what you want to look at. You can go through here, you can go Atlanta, and then you can do that. And then you can see Matt Olson against a righty dominates righties. So a Braves early stack obviously makes sense. It's going to be extremely expensive, but you want to take the most amount of green, you want to take that dark green. They have the better odds against handedness pitcher. Now, this is last year. It's a new year. People are older, I understand, but this is one of the tools we have on the site. So easy tool to read. Hopefully it helps you bring home the bacon along with all the other tools we have. So that being said, I really don't want Wheeler. I don't trust him enough. I'd rather take the Braves bats. I would stack the Braves here, and I would take Strider. So I am off of Wheeler, and I'm off Quintana. I would look at Freddie Peralta and Spencer Strider for the early slate if you're playing the early slate. So that brings us to the main slate. So the main slate's going to start a little bit earlier than what we're used to. It's a Friday, 5:50. I don't know why they're starting at this weird time. It's a weird time to start, but we got Chris Bassett versus Aaron Savale. Bassett, 44 plate appearances, 238 batting average, 20.5 K percentage. Savale, on the other hand, 41 plate appearances, a 250 batting average, 7.3 K percentage. Tournament-wise, I'm okay with either of these pitchers. None of them jump out to me the most. We can come here. And you can see they are lower priced, it's for sure. So if you want to just look at, for instance, Bassett, we take a look at Bassett here. Last year, 33 games started, had a 3.60 ERA, so pretty good. Average 17.7 fantasy points per game. Splits-wise, faced Tampa Bay twice last year, 13 innings pitched, 13 hits, 4 earned runs. All of those earned runs were home runs from him. So it's kind of what you're looking at. 2.77 ERA against them. Not bad. It is a terrible ballpark in Tampa Bay, so it does give Chris Bassett a leg up there. So tournament-wise, I'm completely okay with Chris Bassett. So we jump into Aaron Savale here. Got traded over, came over. 23 starts last year, 109 hits allowed, a 3.46 ERA, so a little bit higher ERA. Only faced Toronto one time. It looks like it was out of the bullpen, 1.2 innings, 1 home run, 1 earned run, 5.40 ERA. So not much. So he does, apparently, he added a 6th pitch to the arsenal. Toronto is going to be one of those teams where you're either going to want to stack them or you're going to want to attack them. And that's basically what we're looking at. Savale, I think he'll go under-owned here. I think more people will be on a little bit more on Bassett, which I'm okay with. But yeah, I do think both of these pitchers are viable options for tournaments. I would not trust them in cash, though. So you look at the batters. If you aren't taking those pitchers, we look at the batters that you have a chance to take here. Obviously, Vlad hits the ball very well. So these are BBE is batted ball events. So how many times they barreled the ball up last year. It resulted in a hit. It was a batted ball event. Launch angle 10.5, stuff like that. You could look at this. He obviously makes sense if you aren't taking Tampa Bay. Bichette, I would look at. I'm not looking at Vogelbach. Turner, he's getting old. I don't know. I don't trust him enough. Tournament's okay, but I'm not a big fan of him. You could look at George Springer. He's okay with the numbers. A little bit. He doesn't hit the ball hard though. So it's not the best. But I mean, you can see the numbers going up against this team. It's not bad. The only ones I would even entertain looking at right now is Vlad. I would look at Bichette, Turner possibly, Davis Schneider to be a value if he starts. George Springer, Varsho. That's probably it on the Toronto side. The Tampa Bay side, Yandy Diaz is a cheaper option. Arozarena, you would look at. Brandon Lau, you could look at. Maybe a little bit of Jose Siri. Probably not a ton of it, but you could see that. Who knows who the catcher is going to be? Ben Rortvedt just got traded the other day from the Yankees, so he could be in there, but he probably doesn't start for a while. If he starts at all, I don't even know if he got sent. Well, he can't get sent down. He's got to be on the active roster. That's why they traded him. You could look at him being a lefty bat. I don't know if he'll do anything. Paredes, you could look at. Not a ton of red there, but he is a cheaper option if you are looking at some of those Tampa Bay bats. But I think both Bassett and Savale, fantastic tournament options. SP2s, I don't think either are SP1s, unless you make, if you're one that makes multiple lineups, say you make 20 lineups, $21 lineups, or whatever you do, 20, 25-cent lineups, you could look at them, both SP1 and SP2. If you were to put both of them in there, Savale at 7,200, Bassett at 8,600, you could actually build a pretty good lineup here. You kind of look at this, and you can see that you can still average 4,200 throughout the way. So, I mean, it depends on how you want to attack this. It is early. It's a dome, so we should be good. Pirates versus the Marlins, we got Martin Perez versus A.J. Puck. Perez faced 58 plate appearances, 227 batting average against him, career-wise against the Marlins. He just did not look good. I mean, he's getting up there in age. I wouldn't trust him at all. We kind of look and can kind of see that it's on the back end of his career. I completely understand that. A.J. Puck, on the other hand, 13 plate appearances, 231. Not used to using either of these pitchers. I would probably avoid Perez and most likely the Pirates bats completely. We can kind of just look at this. We can look at here. So Puck at 7,000, a little bit higher up there. Splits-wise, only pitched 4 games last year. 1 win, 1 loss, 7.71 ERA. Don't know what we're going to get out of him. You know, we could see him going deep into games. I don't see him going deep in it. I don't see him pitching long enough in this game to pay 7,000 at all. So then that would kind of look at the Pirates bats, who we could look at, because I don't think he's going to be long into the game. Then we can kind of see that. So we look at Martin Perez. Splits-wise, played once, or pitched once against Miami last year, 1 inning, so out of the bullpen. Didn't do much. That's basically not a ton of information to look at. So looking at this, I still think the Miami, they do hit righties well, or lefties well, so that's something to look at. So digging into the bats that make a little bit of sense in this game. Pirates bats, if you are taking righty bats against A.J. Puck or whoever the bullpen is, Cabrian Hayes, I would look at. You could look at O'Neal Cruz, Henry Davis. He's up there in price, though. That's the problem. He's up there in price. Connor Joe. So Connor Joe, a lot of his stats are going to be skewed for career-wise because he played in Colorado. So you could see that. But again, you can see Sawinski. I mean, you can see a ton of red right now. So I think a lot of people will be off of some of these guys. So you definitely could take a look. Not a ton that I like, though. Michael A. Taylor does hit lefties well, so you could definitely be looking at Michael Taylor. He is a cheaper option. Just got signed, so you'll have to definitely see if he's going to be in there or not. Flip side of that, Marlins against Martin Perez. Don't mind Jesus Sanchez. Don't mind Jake Berger, Garcia, Josh Bell, Brian De La Cruz. I mean, I think a sneaky stack might be Marlins in this one. For sure, I think it's going to... For sure, I think it'll be a low-owned stack there. So I don't mind either of those. Again, this is a breakdown of every single game on the slate, but on the website, we have a ton more information that we break down even more. So we're giving you this now, but if you want a little bit more, definitely check out everything we have to offer on the website. So we jump down to the next one. Yankees at Houston. We've got Carlos Rodon versus Christian Javier. Now, normally, Rodon... he's a Astros killer in his career. 81 plate appearances, 236 batting average, 22.2 K percentage, 8.6 walk percentage. We know his terrible his terrible last year. 2023 was a season to forget, from being injured to being absolutely shelled. The Astros hit lefties very, very well. We saw that in opening day when they put up, I think, 4 runs in the first 2 innings or something like that. Christian Javier, on the other hand, 87 plate appearances against the Yankees, 31 K percentage, 137 batting average, 13.8 walk percentage. So they did add some bats that hit well. Verdugo, I don't know if he'll start. I bet John Birdie starts at third base today. Got in late, so did not start opening day. He hit 294 on the year, so love that on base. Juan Soto gets on base. Rizzo hits righties well. You've got Juan Soto, of course. You've got Volpe, who changed his batting stats. There's a ton to like in this game. But the Yankees like to strike out too. So Christian Javier could be in store. Again, 87 plate appearances, 31 K percentage. That's a high percentage for him. So we kind of look at that. I don't mind. I think if you're looking at this, Javier is a cash pitcher. I don't know how much exposure I'll have to him. Rodon is more of a tournament pitcher if we're looking at this. So, again, the bats that make sense in this matchup. So, if you don't trust Rodon, you're going Astros. Alvarez hits lefties very, very well. Kyle Tucker hits lefties very, very well. Lefty-on-lefty matchup, it does not matter. You can see a ton of red out of these guys. Yainer Diaz, I think he had a 2-run single in the first inning yesterday. He hit if he starts, I think he'll get a full year of starting. So I think we're pretty good with Diaz, and I don't mind him at all. Jose Abreu, more of a tournament option. Bregman hits lefties well. This is very true. I know that. Chas McCormick hits lefties well. He should be a cheaper option. The way to go about it, I had this question yesterday. Stacks. Where do we go with stacks? The normal stack is about the first 4 to 5 batters in a lineup. But you want to go the under-owned stacks, go to the wraparound stack. What I'm talking about, what wraparound stack would be like the 7th, 8th, 9th, 1 hitter, the 8th, 9th, 1 second hitter, something like that. Depending if you want to go with the 5-2 stack on DraftKings or the 4-3 stack on FanDuel. What I mean by that is the normal optimal stacks on a normal big slate would be 5-2, meaning you have your main stack of 5 players from the same team and then your secondary stack of 2 players from a different team. FanDuel, it's 4 from one team, 3 from the other. That's the normal one. Again, new rules come into play. The amount of games on a slate, all these are huge factors for baseball. Weather's also a factor. So, but looking at this, yeah. Jose Altuve, I mean, there's so many that you love about Astros. I would definitely play some sort of stack of Alvarez, Diaz, Tucker, Bregman, McCormick, Pena, and Altuve. So basically 7 of the 9 starters are in a good spot. Maybe you make 2 different Astros lineups. It's a good way to do it. Flip side of that, if you don't trust Christian Javier, Aaron Judge, Stanton, Soto, I bet Trent Grisham probably starts this game. You could see that. Gleyber Torres, Austin Wells probably starts this game. John Birdie. These guys all have good options here. So definitely would be looking at Javier for cash. I would be looking at Rodon for tournaments, but I'll probably be playing the bats a little more than I'll play the pitching. We got Colorado Rockies versus the Diamondbacks. For whatever reason, Baseball Savant still acting up, acting funny. It's got Cal Quantrill versus, and I believe it's Brandon Pfaadt, right? Or is it? No, I think it's Merrill Kelly. Is it Merrill Kelly? Yeah, it's Merrill Kelly, which makes sense. So Merrill Kelly being 9,400 is very expensive. It's in Arizona, but he's a great pitcher. And they're in the division. They play each other a ton. You can see that. Cal Quantrill, 60 plate appearances, 241 batting average, 20 K percentage. Numbers look okay. I don't trust that. I'm looking at an Arizona stack for sure. And then you've got Merrill Kelly. Last year, 3.17 ERA, very low ERA, 34 games started, 15-9 record, 215 strikeouts. Hit that mark that we needed. Pitched against Colorado 3 times last year, had 2 wins and 3 starts, 4 earned runs, 28 Ks. Just everything you want to look at in a pitcher. Expensive, though. He is expensive. Second highest priced pitcher on the slate here, 9,400. But I love this matchup for him. And then I'm not really stack-wise, I'm looking at Arizona, but I could see you taking some Colorado bats. If you don't want to pay up, you want to get a little contrarian, and you don't want to go with Merrill Kelly, which is completely fine. The ones that make sense to look at, Ryan McMahon, Nolan Jones, Brennan Rodgers. You can look at Tovar. You want to get even further down, Charlie Blackmon. Probably not Chris Bryant. I don't trust him enough. That's what you could look at for Colorado, but I will be looking at Arizona. So Arizona, Jock Peterson, if he gets in there, I love him. Ketel Marte, probably leading off this game. Switch hitter, doesn't matter. Ketel Marte is in an amazing spot here. Gabriel Moreno, more against lefties, but if he starts, I like him. Corbin Carroll, love me Corbin Carroll. Rookie of the year last year, dominated for us. I would look at him. Perdomo, you could look at a little bit of Geraldo Perdomo. That's probably what I'd look at. You want to go under-owned people for Arizona in a good matchup. Probably Christian Walker. Probably looking a little bit of Alec Thomas, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I think those will go under-owned in this game here. So, yeah, I don't trust Quantrill at all. Flip side of that, Cleveland Guardians versus Oakland. Usually you want to take a picture in this stadium. Oakland Coliseum, great, just a O.co stadium, whatever they're calling it now. You usually want to take a picture against the A's. For whatever reason, Baseball Savant does not have the picture up. But let's take a look who is pitching. Should be Logan Allen, probable. Yeah. So we look at Logan Allen. He was very up and down last year. He had some good games, then he had some bad games, and then he got sent down. 24 games started, 3.81 ERA. Splits-wise, he only faced Oakland one time, only 4 innings, but had 5 strikeouts. No earned runs, no home runs, no ERA, 16 fantasy points per game. Speaking of fantasy points per game, I did have people ask this. I had someone ask, what is the, like with basketball, you're looking at like 7 times value. What are you looking for pitching? What are you looking for batting? Basically, normal slates, you're looking for about 2.5 times value on a pitcher. So what that means is you're looking at 7,400 for Allen times 2.5. You're looking about 18.5 out of Logan Allen to hit about value, which is okay. Bats-wise, really, overall, you're looking for 3 to 3.5 times value is kind of what your target is when you build your lineup. So Logan Allen, this printed money last year. Taking a pitcher in Oakland against Oakland was money. Logan Allen at 7,400, I absolutely love that. Stripling, on the other hand, only 28 plate appearances against Cleveland, a 346 batting average against him. So they hit him well in 28 plate appearances, but these numbers are going to be skewed just a little bit. So that's kind of when we build around, that's kind of what you look at. So kind of take a look at this. Quantrill down here at 6,000. He is very cheap. I will give you that. Did not face Arizona. Or wait, wrong person. Ross Stripling, not Cal Quantrill. So Ross Stripling is the lowest at 5,500. Splits-wise, did not face Cleveland last year. Game-wise, at a glance, 5.36 ERA. Yeah, not good. You're not using Stripling. You're taking a pitcher against Oakland, and you're feeling confident about it. So I'm off of Stripling. I'm on Logan Allen. I love this. Bats-wise, for Cleveland, Oakland, I'm not taking any Oakland bats. Cleveland bats that I would look at to feel good. Jose Ramirez, obviously Jose Ramirez. Josh Naylor, I would look at. Arias, you could look at. Depends on who starts. Stephen Kwan a little bit. Will Brennan, I could see you using if he's in there. How much is Will Brennan being 2,800? A cheap option there. So, yeah, I mean, that's what you kind of look at. Not a ton. Really not a ton of Cleveland bats that I would be confident about. So Andres Jimenez was very up and down. He was one of my keepers last year. He didn't really do much. But, yeah, so Arias, Ramirez, Naylor, both Naylors maybe. Kwan, maybe Will Brennan. That's it. I'm not looking at any Oakland bats at all. At all. Now, I know some of you are like, oh, you like all these batters, this and that. Well, I break it down even further in the cheat sheet. I break it down even further in the Discord channel to give you core plays overall. So a little bit different. We do things different here, and hopefully it helps you bring home the. If you win, we do have a Discord channel where I would love to see you post your winnings if you used any of our advice, just to help us out. It would be amazing. I do have a contest. if you put our avatar in your Fanduel or DraftKings account and you take down a tournament of at least 1,000 entries, you get a free month of FTA Plus on top of everything else. So, that being said, next game we got Red Sox at the Mariners. You got Nick Pivetta versus George Kirby. Pivetta, 54 plate appearances, a 304 batting average against the Mariners. And then Kirby, 47 plate appearances, a 273 batting average, 25.5 K percentage there. Just looking at Nick Pivetta, we've got 8,100 is kind of expensive. Splits-wise, he faced Seattle 2 times last year. 1-1 record, 12.2 innings, 7 earned runs, 3 home runs, almost a 5 ERA against them. Boston's going to be bad. I do not trust Boston bats at all. Flip side of that, Seattle. George Kirby is the most expensive pitcher on this slate here. Last year, 190 innings pitched, 13-10 record, 3.35 ERA. So pretty damn good ERA. Splits-wise, faced Boston twice last year. 11.2 innings, 1.54 ERA. That is why he's expensive. I am not looking at Boston bats. I am looking 100% at George Kirby. Again, he's going to be expensive, but that's okay. Then the bats that I'm looking at, Seattle bats. So the normal bats, Julio, obviously you're looking at Julio. Mitch Haniger's more against Mitch Haniger and Mitch Garver are both more against lefties. Cal Raleigh, big dumper. If he is in there, love me some big dumper on this slate. J.P. Crawford, I absolutely love. Jorge Polanco, Dylan Moore. Look at Moore, because it is early in the season. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% all the time who's hurt, but Dylan Moore is in there. So we are good to go in that front. So again, not looking at Pivetta. I'm looking at stacking the Mariners, and I'm looking at George Kirby, and I'm stacking the Mariners, like I said. And the bats make sense. But again, in our cheat sheet, we have 6 to 7 plays. I'll show you at the end. I'll just show you at the end because we're almost done with this. So we go to the next game. San Francisco at the Padres. You got Kyle Harrison versus Joe Musgrove. Harrison, only 14 plate appearances, 250 batting average. Joe Musgrove, 138 plate appearances, 206 batting average, 26.1 K percentage here. I would like this game a little bit more if it were in San Francisco, but it's in San Diego, which is still a pitcher's park. Not as good a pitcher's park as San Francisco, but I'll still take it. So looking at the bats, let's look at the pitchers first. So Kyle Harrison, got him at 7,800 against the Padres. He only started 7 games last year, 34.2 innings, so we don't have much to go off of. But he's got something to prove. But a 4.15 ERA. He only faced San Diego once last year, gave up 6 earned runs and 4 home runs in that game. 5 strikeouts, a 9.53 ERA. I don't trust Harrison. I would rather look at the bats for San Diego. Now, obviously, some of that might be skewed because Juan Soto is no longer on the team, lefty on righty matchup, whatever you want to look at. But the bats that make sense in this game, San Diego, Tatis, Bogarts, Machado, Ha-Seong Kim, love me some Kim there. Luis Campusano, it depends on who's starting. Most likely it'll be him being the starter. You could look at them. Secondary ones, Jerickson, Profar, Jackson, Merrill, I'm okay with them. Flip side of that, the batters for San Francisco, love me if you're not using Joe Musgrove. Well, let's take a look at Joe Musgrove real quick. Taking a look at Musgrove, 17 starts last year, 97.1 innings, obviously was hurt a little bit, 3.05 ERA. Only faced San Francisco one time, 3.1 innings, 3 home runs, 7 earned runs. Did not have it in that game, but it's a new year. We look at this. I don't mind him at all, but he was roughed up. Again, but it was the Dodgers in South Korea. I completely understand that. At his price of $9,200, might be a little too rich for my money there. If I'm taking someone in that range, it's probably Chris Bassett. It's probably Javier. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at game-wise there. Don't really like. Well, if we are looking at Musgrove, who kind of struggled to start the season, it was South Korea, is a little bit different. Now we look at this and didn't have the best start against them. You can look at Matt Chapman. You can look at Mike Yastrzemski, Conforto. Look at these lefties. I do love Lamont Wade Jr. Thairo Estrada might be a cheaper option. Jung-Ho Lee, lefty bat there. Obviously, he doesn't have anything last year. Jung-Ho Lee, cheaper option. Depends on where he bats in the lineup, but I don't mind that. So to be honest with you, I'm looking over the numbers, looking at over everything. The way he started, I don't want anything to do with either of these pitchers. I'd rather take the bats in this game. And that brings us to the final game on the slate, the Cardinals versus the Dodgers. Zach Thompson versus Bobby Miller. We got Zach Thompson, 11 plate appearances, 125 batting average. Bobby Miller, 5 plate appearances, 600. So we don't have much to go there. Not much to go off of at all. So we come down here. We look at Zach Thompson, $5,800 bat, or $5,800 pitcher. Last year, 25 games pitched, 9 of them starts, 66.1 innings, 72 Ks, but had a 4.48 ERA. Splits-wise, only faced the Dodgers one time, 0.2 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. Again, this Dodgers team is good. There's no way I'm taking Thompson. Dodgers are probably going to be one of the top stacks, if not the top stack on this slate. Flip side of that, we got Bobby Miller up here at 9,000, but St. Louis is a bad team. At a glance, last year, 23 games started, 126 innings, 11-5 record. Did pretty damn well. 120 strikeouts, 3.93 ERA. So a little elevated ERA, but that's okay. Splits-wise, did not face St. Louis this at all. Has never faced them. Faced 5 plate appearances. So here's the thing. Those bats are probably, if we look at this, I'm guessing those bats are probably the, Crawford, who wasn't even on the team. So a different team. Looking at that, I would still rather take the Dodgers. Obviously makes sense. I would take Bobby Miller at 9,000. And I would take the Dodgers bats. And honestly, I don't think you could go wrong with any of the Dodgers bats. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Shohei, obviously. Mookie, Muncy, Freeman. Literally anyone in this lineup you can basically take here. So we look at this. That's kind of where I'm leaning. So those are the pitchers and those are the bats. Just looking at the pitchers that I would look at and the pitchers I don't like. I'm avoiding Musgrove, especially at 9,200. I'm looking at Miller. I don't mind Bassett for tournaments. Javier, both cashier tournaments, I don't mind. I'm not using Pivetta. I'm not using Kyle Harrison. Rodon is tournament only for me. Logan Allen, love me. Logan Allen against Oakland. Savale, I'm okay with. I'm not using Puck. I'm not using Perez. I'm not using... Basically, it's Logan Allen, or it's Savale, and I'm not using anyone lower than 7,200 on this slate. Now, those are some of the breakdown. What I talked about is what we have on the site. Now, this is obviously all yesterday's content, but I already showed you the batter splits. You can definitely go check that out if you want to. But let's look at the player projections real quick. Let's just look at everything real quick. This is what you can get for FTA Plus, $24.99 a month, plus sports betting on top of everything else. So videos are going to be here hopefully every single day. Might be a couple of days we don't have it, obviously. But we bring you the information. We bring you hopefully enough information to help bring home the bacon. We've had a few $20,000 winners a few years ago. Would love to see that again. So with the projections, player matchup, their projected fantasy points and value for both Fanduel and DraftKings, their last 5 games, obviously these are going to skew back to last year. So I wouldn't use that yet, but that's still there. And then Vegas, so the over-under, and then the team total, and that can kind of help you build around. So that is the projections. The simulations are just that. So 20,000 simulations are done a day, and building it through, you got the player, the ownership, the floor, the median, the salary or the ceiling, and then 2 times all the way to 6 times from 20,000 simulations, how much percentage they got 6 times value on that slate. Both FanDuel and DraftKings, pitcher, batter, everything. Vegas odds are the Vegas odds. Batter splits are what we looked at. BVP matchups, it's exactly that. Some people love BVP. Some people hate BVP. It really depends on what you feel comfortable with and if you are a proponent of that. So looking at that, depending on what you like and depending on if there's a certain amount of at-bats that you feel might constitute using a good BVP, I would say 15 at-bats. That's not a ton, but we don't have a ton. So we look at this. This is just yesterday, but you can see the at-bats are there, the hits, the average, OBP, everything is there. Home runs, RBI, stuff like that. So Yastrzemski against Darvish yesterday had, career-wise had 3 home runs. And you can go into there. Again, like I tell everyone, go here, bring it down, click on this box, It'll bring it up, and then you can sort it however your heart desires. I am looking at getting tables put in on here to make it look a little better, but you can't. The thing about that is you can't, as far as I know, you can't conditionally format those kind of tables like you can with live. So that's kind of one I'm looking at. BVP, the stolen base targets, it's exactly that. It's any batter who's had success, the pitchers that have given X amount of stolen bases on the years here. And what I'm talking about, so it's stats between 2019 and 2023. You can sort it however you want it. Go through here, click it, stolen bases, percentage, and stuff like that. So those are updated daily. The cheat sheet's the big thing that a lot of people like. It gives both cash plays, it gives tournament plays. It gives each one at each position. So yesterday, five players at each position for cash, 6 players at each position for tournaments, then our stacks and a little bit of notes as to why we like those stacks and the players in those stacks that we do like. The weather, depending on what it is, you can look at postponed games. You can look at the delay chances, postponement chances, the way the wind's blowing. If it's blowing out, obviously you want to look at the bats. If it's blowing in, you want to look at pitchers because that'll get the pitchers a little bit more. Then lineups, early, main, boomstick shots are our home run shots that we predict. So I had 66 correct home run calls last year. We're going to do it every single time. The prop bets are another one. So we look at what these prop bets are. The prop bets that we like for pitchers, like pitchers, Ks, plus Ks, the hitting bets, so players we think are going to get 1+ hit, total bases, how many players we think are going to get over 1.5 bases, and then some more home run picks as well. Are we going to go perfect? No, we're not Vegas, Dave. We're not going to go perfect. We've got the ballpark ratings. This is kind of one I wanted to talk about. This is one that you might not think about. And obviously we can only go off of what we have from last year, but each ballpark, the pitcher, the home away pitcher, the total amount of runs in those games, the rankings, the how many home runs were in those ballparks. You take all this information. You take, let's say, for instance, you took the ballpark with the most amount of home runs last year, Globe Life Field in Texas. It's a retractable roof, so the wind wouldn't play a factor. But you'd look at that. You would look and see, okay, well, or Great American Ballpark. So you look at Great American Ballpark, had 243 home runs in 81 games there. You then factor that in. Let's go check out the weather. Let's see if the wind's blowing out. Let's see the pitchers, if they're a fly ball pitcher. All of this matters when you're building lineups and building bets for sports betting. We've got the umpire factors, which didn't update yesterday, kind of waiting on some news and notes. And then optimal stacks. Now, these are stats from previous years. And then you, depending if you're playing Fanduel or DraftKings, so you can see DraftKings, you look at how many number of games are there, and then your stack would be like a 5-2. So if there's 6 games on the slate, 46%. How many games are on this slate? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we got 8 games on this slate. We do possibly have some rain in Oakland and LA. It is Southern California, though, so you never know. So definitely monitor this while it's going. So let's say you're playing DraftKings. There are 8 games on the slate. So 8 games on the slate. When you look, you see that a 5-2 stack hits the most at 21%. So meaning your primary stack of 5 players, let's say 5 Dodgers players, if you can even fit 5 of them there, and then 2 players from a second team. So on and so forth. That's how you would read that. And then FanDuel a little bit with 8 games. 38% of the time, it's a 4-3 stack. So 4 on one, 3 on the other. That's how you read the stacks. So that's basically it. That's the breakdown of the slate. All 8 games, all of the pitchers, the bats in every game that are viable options. If this is a good representation of the only thing you need to make your case, to build lineups, to bet, that's awesome. That's what you're trying to do. But if you need a little bit more help, I highly suggest go check out our content on the site. Go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Go check out our Discord channel. I want it to be one of the most popping communities during this season. Started off very well yesterday. Let's keep the train rolling. The video did awesome. You guys did awesome. Would love to hear how you guys did yesterday after the video. So that's what I've got in this video. Good luck. And as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace!